just really nice to be able to come down and find out we can actually help the wildlife here too, which is really nice.
I've been persistent. I have a stick-with-itness that I don't easily quit.
I've always been an advocate of knowing your own backyard. Even though it's a young country, it's got a lot of history behind it.
What a lovely early spring snowfall. We're in one of Metro Vancouver's 22 regional parks. Hi, I'm Vanessa Timmer.
And I'm Dagmar Timmer.
And this is the Sustainable Region.
Today we're in the rugged and beautiful Lynn Headwaters Regional Park. There are over 50 kilometers of trails back through these mountains. Some are short and easy, while others have steep terrain for the more experienced hiker.
We start our program today with a story that's based in Burnaby Lake Regional Park, where dozens of bird boxes are having a spring cleaning thanks to energetic volunteers.
There should be one chickadee box just over there somewhere. We'll go find them later. And then we'll go down our trail, and right along the edge, we should find a whole collection of boxes right on the water's edge.
This group of volunteers is brought together by the Burnaby Lake Park Association, a group of people committed to caring for their local park. Today they're servicing nest boxes around the lake. Boxes that are necessary to some birds' survival because of the way they nest.
Hang on, what was the bit of green there?
That's poop.
Okay.
Wood ducks, they are a tree cavity nester, so they're looking for holes inside trees to actually put their particular nest in. Now, unfortunately, holes inside trees tend to be in slightly dead kind of trees, and we often cut those ones down. Which, safety for humans, nice things for the ducks. What are we going to do here?
It was a problem that was relatively easy to solve. Over the last 4 decades, volunteers have installed more than 200 nest boxes around the lake.
Yeah. That's good enough.
The wealth of bird life at water's edge is proof that their efforts are paying off.
We now have the largest population of wood ducks in the province. If it weren't for the nest boxes, you wouldn't have any of them. You may get the occasional pair or so, but that's it. Whereas now on a regular basis, we get anywhere from 40 to 60 wood ducks, and that's pretty good.
The Nest Box program is also about information. Volunteers make detailed notes about what they find.
It's a twig, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 membranes.
5 membranes?
Yeah.
If the box is totally full of whole eggs, then it's possible that mom got in trouble. Maybe she abandoned the nest, maybe she got killed. If the box is half and half membranes, half eggs, it's possible that the first little group got ready, hatched and left, and the other ones were just too late.
Joe Sadowski has been enjoying bird life on the lake for more than 40 years. Volunteering is his way of giving back.
Well, the basic reason that I volunteer is because this is an area of great interest to me, and it's a need. Hired people are not about to be doing this. It doesn't happen with the way budgets are nowadays. So the volunteer route is the only way.
It should be 131.
131, okay. It's a lot of fun actually, because it's just really nice to be able to come down and find out what's going on in the park, which is, I live just on the other side of the park, and just to sort of sense of we can actually help the wildlife here too, which is really nice.
Coming in and helping out and giving back into our community is an important, it's meaningful to me.
Burnaby Lake features a year-round population of birds. Everything from the common Canada goose and mallard to lesser-seen species like the wood duck or buffleheads. And there's even an eagle's nest to keep an eye on across the lake.
Oh, it's great birding territory. I mean, there's got all this wonderful natural habitat around here. You've got the trees and you've got this long lake on it.
I've watched people come here on a very regular basis and use the benches that are out on the walkway or on the observation deck just absorbing the surroundings, the bird sounds and watching the activity, and never 2 days or 2 hours that things remain the same.
The Nest Box program happens every year between January and March. Any and all help is welcome. Burnaby Lake Park Association volunteers love to pass along their knowledge and have some extra help getting the boxes ready for another season of successful nesting.
Wait for me.
Welcome to Burnaby Lake Regional Park. It's just another boring urban park, right? Sure, if by boring you mean a park that protects you from the West Nile virus and provides habitat to birds and frogs that eat mosquitoes. And fights pollution through water and air filtration. This park also has 10 kilometers of the best jogging trails in the region. And maybe you think it's boring that the park is used by 200 different kinds of birds and is home to the world's best looking beaver lodge. And a team of park interpreters that runs year-round programming for children, families, and youth. It also has a wheelchair-accessible boardwalk and viewing tower. Burnaby Lake. It's just another amazing regional park. Not boring. For more information and directions, go to metrovancouver.org.
Welcome back to the Sustainable Region. We're on the North Shore at Lynn Headwaters Regional Park. Another park on the north side of Burrard Inlet is Crippen Park on Bowen Island, and it's only a 20-minute ferry ride from Horseshoe Bay.
Right at the ferry's doorstep, Crippen offers both pleasant strolls close to coffee shops, as well as steep hikes that lead to amazing views.
And keep in mind Applefest. It's a tasty way to connect to the island's history, as well as a chance to meet the friendly and neighborly people on Bowen Island.
It's just a short walk from the ferry terminal at Snug Cove to the entrance of Crippen Regional Park and the Davies Historic Orchard. The Bowen Island Heritage Preservation Association is on a mission to restore the cottages that were built here in the 1920s. Once a thriving tourist resort, it eventually became home to a nature-loving bunch of hippies. But since then, the cabins have fallen into serious disrepair.
Between different types of babies.
A dedicated band of volunteers has also been working hard to restore the orchard. It's a labor of love.
By being obsessive, I've been able to source all of those varieties that were grown here 130 years ago, and I've been persistent. I have a stick-with-itness that I don't easily quit.
At this year's Apple Fest, there's apple bread and apple muffins.
Muffin? I love when you call me Muffin. No! I love it.
Apple pies.
We have a beautiful apple pie with a large A on it, made by Bowen Island here.
But no apples on the trees. This year, the Heritage Orchard failed to produce any fruit. A decline in the worldwide population of bees is part of the problem.
Very recent science on the subject seems to indicate that it's a combination of a mite and a virus, I think, that's attacking the bees. They can survive one or the other, but when the two occur at the same time, it's death to the colony.
Fewer bees was just one problem, made all the worse by some very bad weather.
So two things happened. One was the bees didn't wake up because it was not pleasant weather for bees. And the second one was that the wind was so high it actually tore the blossoms off the tree.
This year's fest focuses on pollination.
Unfortunately, there's not a lot of heritage apples this year, but it works really well because then we can kind of highlight to the public the importance of pollinators. It's a very cool relationship that the ants have with the bleeding hearts. Now, if we don't treat our pollinators with respect and do things to encourage them to stay around, we're not going to have any of the nice things that we like.
Mason bees are not capable of building their own habitat. So drilling holes in a piece of wood and lining them with paper creates a perfect nest.
Put it right in that hole, all the way through.
Thanks to John Riley's persistence, his own orchard elsewhere on the island produced many varieties of heritage apples. They're a tangible reminder of the diverse bounty that this orchard used to bear, and within a year or two, will begin to produce again. And as the orchard is restored, so too are the cabins. 4 of the 12 surviving units are now in functional order.
The Heritage Society was really formed around the idea of trying to put together a little resort area where we could have people come and learn about the orchard, learn about pollinators, learn about food security.
An idea the association hopes will bear fruit in the not too distant future.
Do you like having fun outdoors? Looking for volunteer opportunities? Want to learn something new? The winter hibernation is almost over, so start planning your spring fun for the Check It Out Spring Guide. The Check It Out Guide is here to bring you fresh ideas to get you fresh air. With over 70 events and programs featured, Check It Out is your one-stop shop for fun this spring. Loads of free quality events and programs are available. Come and explore our parks in style. Enter to win this one-of-a-kind handcrafted twisted cedar walking stick. Call us at 604-436-6794 or email us at sustainableregion@metrovancouver.org and tell us which park is your favorite and why.
Metro Vancouver is a region defined by its geography. Here, the densest urban population in British Columbia is intermingled with fertile farmland, before bumping up against the mountains and rainforests along its northern edge, and the Pacific Ocean on its western edge. It is a region of immigrants. Home to 2.4 million people, Metro Vancouver is ethnically diverse with English, Chinese, and Punjabi as the 3 dominant language groups. And the region's economy is equally diverse, from the high-tech sector to natural resources, and its role as a North American gateway to the Pacific Rim. Metro Vancouver is a confederation of 24 local authorities and provides core utility services, drinking water, sewage and drainage, and solid waste management, as well as regional planning and political leadership. Metro Vancouver has long had a strong environmental imperative for its operations. But in 2002, a profound institutional shift occurred when a formal commitment to a sustainable future was made. Embracing the complexity this implies, Metro Vancouver recognized the need to engage on a multitude of fronts, not only as a utility provider, but as a catalyst for change. This goes beyond simply striving for better ways of performing the same actions, and instead demands achieving a deep-seated cultural shift. Metro Vancouver's commitment to a sustainable future for its region recognizes the simple fact that sustainability is a global concept, that our futures are dependent on each other.
Welcome back to the Sustainable Region. I'm here at BC Mills House, which is a heritage cabin right at the entrance of Lynn Headwaters Park. A great time to stop in at the house is during the May event called Wilderness on Your Doorstep. Someone involved in that is Ruth Sherwood. Hi, Ruth.
Hi, Dagmar.
Can you tell us about that event?
Yeah, well, it starts in the spring, the weekend before the May 24th weekend, so that we don't run into competition with other things going on. We had about 800 people there last year. And it's people that come through the park to hike, but then we have various groups attending at our invitation. We have a geologist, we have a bear lady who's very good at roping in people who talk to her and find out what they should be doing about bears. And when they come into the museum, they become quite intrigued very often with the history of the lumbering that took place in this park many years ago, back from 1875 till about 1928. Sometimes we've had an old car, but also we dress up, and everybody gets a kick out of that. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Tim Hortons is here for 2 hours during that first opening day, which it's very popular, needless to say.
I understand there are discovery packs for families to use.
Yes, they're small backpacks, which are chock or block full with pieces of paper, cards, pencils, pens, even a magnifying glass. There's a little book that explains a lot of detail about some of the animals, the birds, and the trees.
So I understand we have a few artifacts here. Can you tell me about this one?
This is a fun thing that we show to the kids. So the candle inside is protected from the wind, and if they had to go out to the biffy in the back in the dark, this is what they would want to have.
And what about this backpack?
Yes, one of the early varieties. And they were intended for hauling very heavy loads. I mean, it's total canvas. When the kids come in to try them on, we put in like an iron frying pan, a pound of flour.
Oh, that really is heavier than a modern backpack. Thank you very much, Ruth. Our next story takes us to the south end of the region, where parks crews have learned to analyze a site based on its accessibility.
Today we are doing a training session on universal accessibility audits. We identify the critical areas in the park that most people would want to use, and we want to ensure they're as accessible as possible.
So the idea is to go over the Little Rock Loop Trail, and we're just going to evaluate that for accessibility.
Today we've got staff from all of our 3 area offices who are doing a test audit here in Campbell Valley Regional Park. They're going to take back what we learned today and teach people in their offices so we can audit all of our parks.
I was involved with creating the assessment process, so there's a procedure for how to record information and also put together the list of measures that they're looking at when they are evaluating a certain area in the park.
This slope is 1.9.
The first time people do it, they're surprised at how much common sense it is, but also what a difference a subtle change will make.
Sometimes they're really good intentions, but in fact, whatever the final result is, there's always like an oops, oh, if only you hadn't done this, if only the railing wasn't right at eye level, if it had just been a little bit lower, and those kinds of things.
From our trailhead, we're 370 meters to our first rest stop.
We focused in on one trail in Campbell Valley Regional Park, but it's the whole park user experience we're interested in.
To get over to the bench, we've got the strip of grass. It would be better if it was the same as the trail, so a nice firm surface.
When you're on the trail, is there enough benches? Do the benches have armrests?
It might be somebody coming with a stroller, a family with young children may find a certain trail more difficult. Could be someone with poor balance or someone with a heart condition that might need a bench along a trail to sit down and rest. Seniors may have challenges, balance issues, difficulty reading small text on signs. It really could be anyone.
Engineers and landscape architects and planners, they're thinking about these things. You just don't want to limit yourself in any way. The next step is to understand what we can implement immediately and what is a longer term kind of vision and how these things are going to be funded.
With providing really good public information, really good information on websites and that kind of thing, people will then go, hey, you know what, I think I could actually do that trail in the park, so that's the goal.
Hey y'all, welcome to Langley's Campbell Valley Regional Park. Originally a farmstead founded in 1886, today Campbell Valley provides a mix of nature, pioneer heritage, and country lifestyle. It's a big place, so whether you want a guided tour or to explore the park on your own, you might want to start at the Visitor Center. Campbell Valley, it's a people's park. You've got dog people, horse people, nature people, people who like to walk. People who like to take a walk back in time at places like the Annan Rowlett Farmstead and Lockhill Schoolhouse. Don't want to be around people? Take a stroll or ride your horse on Campbell Valley's 43 kilometers of trail.
Just look at all that's around us. Take care.
You're also invited to Country Celebration in September for an old-fashioned fall fair. Join us for a farmer's market, live music, llama obstacle courses, and mini donuts. Donuts. Got a big family? We've got lots of room. You can reserve covered and open picnic areas or our camping facilities. So whether you're with a four-legged friend or on your own 2 feet, Campbell Valley Regional Park has something for everyone. How do you get here? Take the 200th Street exit off Highway 1 and head for South Langley. Or go to www.metrovancouver.org for more directions and info.
Come and explore our parks in style. Enter to win this one-of-a-kind handcrafted twisted cedar walking stick. Call us at 604-436-6794 or email us at sustainableregion@metrovancouver.org and tell us which park is your favorite and why.
Over 100 square kilometers of green space. That's what you'll find in the regional park system in Metro Vancouver.
And today on the Sustainable Region, we're giving you a glimpse of some of those parks.
Here in Lynn Headwaters Park, you're surrounded by emerald green forests. But if you go to Derby Reach Park near Fort Langley, you'll find open skies and the wide reaches of the Fraser River.
And if you want to release your inner pioneer, check out the spring campfire and storytelling event.
To mark BC Heritage Week and the 100th anniversary of Parks Canada and BC's provincial parks, Metro Vancouver Parks staff hosted an afternoon celebrating the pioneer roots of Derby Reach Regional Park.
So we're celebrating green spaces, and since they're managed by all levels of government, we're happy to celebrate regional parks as well.
Over 230 people attended the event, which featured storytellers, old-time fiddle music, and a chance to enjoy the 18th century equivalent of a marshmallow roast.
Today we are going to pretend it is a year in the 1800s. Let's say the 1850s. Are they dressed as voyageurs?
No.
That must be remedied.
People of the Stolo First Nation have inhabited the area for thousands of years. In 1827, they were joined by settlers and Hudson's Bay Company fur traders who built the original Fort Langley on this site.
But one important thing to note, if you are married, the notch is on your right. If you are single, the notch is on your left. Parks Canada this year is celebrating its centennial as a Parks Canada agency, which is the oldest park service in the world. And it's a great year to kick it off, being 2011 and knowing that just 100 years ago this was already in the minds of politicians and Canadians to start preserving natural and historic places. Excellent! Ladies, take note.
Tim Watkins of the Royal Engineers Living History Group described the role the engineers played in settling the area and gave a demonstration of his replica Lee Enfield muzzle-loading rifle, the typical firearm for the Royal Engineers of that time period.
I'm going to go out facing out over the bank here, and I'll load and fire one, and then I'll do one at full speed. Bite the top off the cartridge, pour the powder down the barrel, and then there would be a bullet sat at the bottom like the one I showed you. I would put that in, ram it down, and then come to the ready.
Is this some kind of like bread or something? Yeah, so this is like a biscuit, And this is the type of bread that they would have made a really long time ago.
Another popular activity, especially for the children, was a chance to cook bannock over the campfire.
What's in it? So it's mostly water, flour, and a little bit of vegetable shortening, salt, sugar, and baking powder.
I'd say it tastes like strawberries, like mixed with like bread. Yeah. Something like that.
Now we portage! You don't want to stray too far away from the rest of your brigade because you have to remember, after Fort Alexandria, we are in grizzly bear country. Well, I've always been an advocate of knowing your own backyard, so people should be coming to visit and know what's just outside their doorsteps. Lots of historic sites and places and knowledge about the history of Canada. Even though it's a fairly young country compared to the rest of the world, it's got a lot of history behind it.
The park's trails and day use areas are open year-round, with camping facilities available from March to October.
Well, that's the end of today's tour of Metro Vancouver's regional parks, and we'd like to send you an invitation.
That's right. Plan to visit one regional park this season and take a photograph of yourself in the park. Then send it to us and tell us your story. This Check It Out program is on Metro Vancouver's website, and it lists dozens of events and programs.
Or just stop by a Metro Vancouver park for some fresh air, exercise, or even a winter wonderland. And then tell us about your experience, and we'll profile it on a future show or on our website. You can reach us by phone at 604-436-6794 or email us at sustainableregion@metrovancouver.org.
For the Sustainable Region, I'm Dagmar Timmer.
And I'm Vanessa Timmer.
Thanks for watching.